Hey, once again, everybody. This is Andrew, and this is another episode of RC Basics, RC Airplane Basics, that I'd like to do. Again, as I said before in my first episode, we're going to be going through the Beginner's Guide to Flying RC Airplanes. Really terrific manual. Again, I recommend anybody go out and get this manual. It's available online. I'll put the link up here so that you can go get it. It's I believe it's $12. And worth every penny. Lots of information on here. So I'm not going to be going all the way through this, but I'm just going to be highlighting some stuff. So today we're going to be talking about transmitters and receivers. I got a few set up here, a couple different types. This is going to be really basic stuff. I would imagine most of you all already know this. Some of the newbies may not know quite as much about it. So basically what we got here is we got three radios. We've got a 72 megahertz, which is used in the U.S., has been used in the U.S. for a long time. A lot of other countries use other frequencies. And then we've got a couple examples of the new 2.4 gigahertz radios. And both of these radios came with kits. And there are some different brand names out there, such as Futaba and Spectrum, JR. All terrific radios. I can't say enough about them. So why don't we get started with the 72 megahertz radio. This one is made by Polkabi. This is the Tracker 3. This is my primary radio. It's 72 megahertz, has long antenna on it. I can't even fit that all into the screen. That's the only downside to this. The upside to this, what I really like about this is this has 99 channel memory on it. Or excuse me, 99 airplane memory. So you can hold 99 airplanes, all the settings, the trim settings, the mixing settings, all the other settings that you can think of. So this is a computerized radio, really nice radio. I've had a lot of good luck with this so far. I've got probably a dozen planes set up on it now or so, and a lot of my other planes are running the stock transmitter that comes with the setup. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. The clock's bonging in my ear here. So let's talk about 72 megahertz. 72 megahertz has been widely used in the U.S. for many, many years. It's pretty good. It has pretty good track record. The downside to it is that if somebody else is on the same channel as you are, you can get shot down, you can shoot somebody else down, meaning that you're going to interfere with the other plane or they're going to interfere with yours. So the AMA rules state that basically you have to have a flag indicating what channel you're on and stuff. Now this radio here, another nice feature of this radio here is it does not require crystals and it can do any channel. I believe it's channel 11 through 60 for the 72 megahertz. And basically it just equals to 72.250, 260, whatever. And each of those equates to a channel number. And I'm sure you can find lots of lists of channel numbers out on the web. So what this one will do is it actually scans the channel that you're on, making sure that nobody else is on that so you're not shooting somebody down, which is a really nice feature. And this emulates all the channels. Now, in the old days, I won't say the old days, it hasn't been that long ago, but you used to buy the crystal. There was a crystal, I don't know if you can see this crystal or not. Here, we'll take the one out of the standard size receiver here so I can show you. And this is a crystal, this is a receiver crystal, but the transmitter crystal is about the same size, and it actually went into the transmitter and it told what channel you were on, and you had to have the matching crystal in the receiver. And if you had the matching crystal, they were on, say, channel 18, both of them were on 18, then it would function. If they weren't, it wouldn't. So this is a standard size receiver right here, and this is a micro receiver. Smaller crystal, lighter weight, made for park flyers. These have the longer antennas on them than the 2.4 gigahertz. So if you're going along with me in this manual, I'm on page 9. Lots of information here about the crystals and how they work and the frequencies and stuff. I'm just hitting the highlights here. The 2.4 is relatively new, out in the past less than 10 years, I would say. I don't know exactly when it came out, but the nice thing about 2.4 is you don't have to worry about crystals, you don't have to worry about frequency. It modulates the frequency, you bind it with a particular plane, and you can have a number of planes up on 2.4 gigahertz without interfering with each other. I want to say I heard the number was around 36. I won't say that for definite sure because I would have to look that up. And it could be in here someplace in this manual. So just going over a few of the features. Here in the US we typically use what's called mode 2. So your throttle is on the left-hand stick along with your rudder. Okay? And aileron is on the right-hand stick. An elevator is on the right-hand stick. That's typically what we use here in the U.S. I know a lot of European countries use the mode 1, which is exactly opposite throttles over on this side. So now let's talk about dual rates. A lot of radios will have dual rates on them. I don't know if any of these ones do. It does not look like it. This one obviously has dual rates, and this is adjustable dual rates. Even some of your cheaper 2.4s now have dual rates on them. They have a switch. It basically knocks the sensitivity of the servos down by about 50% with a switch. On this one, since it's computerized, you can set it wherever you want. You can set it at 99%, down from the full 100%, or you can set it at 1%. So if you've got too much throw on ailerons, you can set it down to 40, 50, 60, 70%. And you can adjust it from there. And basically what that does is you throw the switch for dual rates. On this one I got it set for the switch up here. And you throw the switch and it will knock down the rates so it's not quite as responsive. So that comes in handy when you have a really touchy plane. Servo Reverse, almost all these have Servo Reverse now. So if you've got a servo that's going in the wrong direction, don't do like I did with the P51 and not triple check it. So the ailerons in that case were reversed. So what I did is I should have checked, and I didn't. It would have been just a flip of the switch to reverse it back the other way, so that when you're looking at ailerons on an airplane, the right aileron, when you turn right, the right aileron should be up, the left one should be down, and vice versa. When you go left, the left one should be up, the right one should be down. And I didn't double check at that time. Control surface mixing. A lot of radios have mixing in them. Mixing is basically mixing together you could do flaperons, which are basically a combination of ailerons and flaps, if you wanted to do that. You can also do elevons, which is a mixture of elevator and ailerons. V-tail mixing for airplanes that have V-tails. It's a combination of rudder and elevator. So a lot of your more advanced radios have those functions as well. Then you've got things like travel throw, exponential, timer. Exponential basically increase, the more that you put on the stick, it's more of a linear type motion. So the more you put on the stick, the more motion you get. So you can do small inside movements without it being quite as jerky. It's kind of a hard thing to explain. I think this probably does a little bit better. Let me just read a quick quote from here. As you move the sticks towards their limits, so the control surface deflection increases or decreases exponentially. Particularly useful on aerobatic planes, for example, with large control surfaces. Setting exponential deflection means that the plane won't be too sensitive for normal circuit flying and landing, yet will be fully responsive with larger stick movements. That explains it better than I could. Great job on writing that up, Pete. That's better than I could explain it. So that pretty much covers the basics of transmitters and receivers. I don't have a 2.4 gigahertz receiver out here, but they're basically the same size. They have a much smaller antenna, and some of them have a satellite receiver, so that they're good for a much longer range. It's basically just one plugged into another. Sometimes they're different size. I don't quite understand how all the 2.4 gigahertz actually works. I know that there's some modulation and that it binds with the airplane, with the receiver, and I'm not quite sure. It's kind of magic to me. I haven't really looked into it too much, but that is the wave of the future. Now you may be saying, well, why aren't you going with 2.4 gigahertz? Why are you still messing with the 72 megahertz, and I'll tell you why. It's because I've got a lot of money invested in receivers. I have a ton of these receivers, and I have you know, this radio which has 99 model memory on it, which is really nice. And yes, you can do that all with 2.4, but it would cost me hundreds of dollars to get as many receivers as I have. I've got, like I said, I've got about a dozen planes loaded up on this now, and I've got probably another 20 to 30 receivers on hand for other planes, just in case I need them. Sorry about the telephone there. And so that's going to wrap up this episode. And I hope you'll stick with me. We'll get into a little bit more stuff a little bit down the line. The next episode of RC Airplane Basics, we're probably going to do, we're going to skip to methods of flight training. As I already went over the airplane systems and stuff, and how pitch and roll and stuff like that worked in the first episode. So we're going to go to methods of flight training, and that's Chapter 4. And I really do encourage you to pick up this manual. Thanks a lot, and I'm going to try to do some videos this weekend, so I hope to have, come Monday or Tuesday, have some more flying videos up for you, okay? Catch you later.